ganged up on two other feminists.
Oh, jeez.
And they're like you're explaining your point, and it's like you didn't say anything.
Oh my god. It's... I don't even know what to do anymore with some people, man. I just don't know what to do anymore.
I have to vent a little because I'm not used to that. But that's about it. I feel better now.
Yeah, no, I get you, man. You gotta... Sometimes you just gotta step back and say, man, people are nuts. And try and find some sane people to reground yourself.
Dude, that's the absolute truth.
I gotta remember where I am.
Alright, so let me set up the link. We're up and running now. Somebody joined in. I had to set up an alt PS4 account, so there's now ComicSpot. There we go. And let's set up our little hashtags and stuff. So let's see if we can get Sierra Whiskey, Ethan's chair in here as well. That was actually really cool with Tug. That was pretty amazing, I have to say.
Yeah, man, I'm glad he saw that and sent that out. That was cool.
You know, I've been thinking about asking a few people, because I had somebody. Okay, I was thinking about asking a few people for doing like little interviews here, and I thought it would be kind of a cool idea to bring them on in a group, format, kind of how what's it called? How Ethan does it.
I missed something. What?
Oh no, just saying. I recently had somebody ask about doing an interview, and right now this is my main mode of actually doing these kind of videos, these streams, and chatting with everybody. So I was thinking of going about it in that manner, and maybe we can have different comic writers and artists on here, and we can actually do like the interviews and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Like a really great idea.
Let's see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Once you get comfortable, I'd reach out to some people and start feeling them out. The whole thing grow together.
So, guys, tell me a little bit about what happened with our new friend who transitioned to Tim. I'm a little confused.
Oh gosh.
You're not the only one. Understand? One day we had a duck. The next thing we had this wizard with horns throwing fireballs.
Oh my God! What's going on in the world right now? I tried contacting him. He hasn't talked back to me yet. Oh, Snicks. He changed his name to Tim.
I thought. Wait! You're telling me that Snakes changed themselves to Tim?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Waddle broke him.
I think.
Oh,
dang.
God.
That petition. I went too far with it. Ugh.
Especially when like Barack Obama and Ty Beard and Nick Arcata start jumping in on him.
Oh my God.
And all those names are in quotes, of course.
Oh well.
I did the Barack Obama one. I won't be honest here.
I won't say any of the ones that I did. Not even my own name.
Oh my God. But a lot has been lots been changing in the past couple of weeks, with the whole Kick Vic thing, and well, even more than that, there's been a lot of things going on. But as far as that is concerned, there's kind of an order to all of this, and it would be nice if maybe if you guys kind of filled me in even on some of these details, because we had a few things come up, and I'm not sure that I have all the details myself, to be honest. There was I don't know if anyone wants to start off with all the fun surprises from different voice actors that have been coming out in the past week or two, like Chuck Huber. But if you guys have any extra info on that, we can probably start there.
Monica Rial was doing damage for Stephanie. If I remember correctly, she's the voice of Luffy, and that didn't turn out well for Monica.
No kidding.
She basically made it look like what Stephanie said was true. So there's that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of the same impression I got. Was, you know, that she went out and said, made it sound like, you know, they knew it was going on, but yeah, I'm not real sure what all is going on in the background on that one.
She said that they didn't confirm that the tweets were real, the DMs.
Oh.
And then she said that supposedly Stephanie was hacked. Supposedly. Am I even saying the right name?
Yeah.
And I've seen the same thing. That's the latest thing going around is that she was hacked. So, you know, it's kind of in the fog right now as far as what's legit and what's not. I've also seen speculation that there were 2 Facebook accounts. So, you know, there's some people thinking, okay, well, they opened up a second Facebook account so that they could do the screenshot saying that she was hacked, and maybe she really wasn't. So I don't know until she comes out and actually confirms it one way or the other. It's you know, just odd, because from what I understand, she initially said some things that was liking tweets that were anti-Vic, and then later on, you know, made the basically her statement that, if I recall correctly, and don't hold me to it, that you know, she had been kind of a victim herself, and then, you know, this last thing came out saying she was hacked. So yeah, it's a mess right now, kind of like everything else in that trial.
I mean, it kind of sounds like a possibility, but if you look into it, it just lies more to the side that says it's not true. That Monica, like, she's obviously, it seems like she's lying. There's always a possibility that she's actually saying the truth. Like about Stephanie, like. There's always a small possibility, but I kind of doubt it. But like, at least this makes more sense than her affidavit.
Mm-hmm.
At least there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is, through this whole thing, you know, I started off, you know, and I'll admit, right now my bias is I think Vic is innocent. You know, I think the accusations against him are mostly rumor and conjecture, because I simply haven't seen anything that's swung me enough to think that he's done any of the things that he has. You know, since the very beginning, myself and other people have asked for some kind of proof, you know, hard evidence, and we were told, oh, wait for the trial, we don't owe you anything. And you know, as this has come out, it's been more and more of a mess, more emotional stuff that really doesn't seem to add up to much. So right now, in my book, or at least from my viewpoint, I don't see a lot of credibility with Monica Rial. So, you know, I have to take everything she says with a grain of salt.
I agree
Yeah,
there.
like she. You go comments.
Oh, well, there's a lot going on with this because it's being fueled by we have two factions. We really do have more than just what's being said right now going on. There's you have your Kick Vic, you have your I Stand with Vic, and then within those groups you have people from different areas like Kiwi Farms, and you have people on sides like like Renfamous, SJW, Spider-Man. They're switching from the comic side of thing, Comicsgate, over to Vic. So you have a lot that we're dealing with. And there's definitely a lot of information and misinformation being spread around. But as far as what has actually been said, what's confirmed, I don't feel like, believing someone just for, a reason that's maybe tied to their sex or gender. I don't think that's appropriate. I think, that the investigation was horrible, and the simple fact that we have this huge hypocrisy with Chris Sabat versus Vic Mignogna when an allegation actually comes out, which we're still waiting on Stephanie to actually confirm it. But I saw a video today, and I wish I had saved it. I had thought other people had shown it, had seen it too. But I thought there was a video with her having some conversation about Sabat. But I'm gonna have to actually look for it. I don't know if anyone saw that.
Is that the one about the Chris Sabat taking lines and making a porn parody?
No, it was like a conversation. It was a phone conversation with her and someone off of YouTube. Yeah, I have to find that because
I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah. Find that one and share that out for sure.
I even want to say I did. So let me just look through my own. But yeah, that was quite interesting. But we do have some new updates. Some official documentation that came out recently. That was, let's see, I'm forgetting the exact name, but maybe you guys know a little better. Let's see. Who's the new law for? What's the new law firm that Vic just got? Ann Hugh Lee or something like that.
Oh yeah, hang on, I've got that. Let's see. Yeah, Ann Lee Sue of Martin. I believe I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. HSU. And I was reading. I don't know for sure. I read that this lawyer is a TI specialist.
Honestly, I wish the best of luck to him for everything, because I don't know, if you're gonna have people basically destroy your life, it's through such means as just an allegation without any real factual evidence, and he has no real way to actually even defend himself. It's a message has to be sent out that there's a consequence to things, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with this. But I think a lot of people are saying the same thing. Trying to find that document. Did you guys have it on the? Let's see.
Hang on. And I think which one are you looking for? Are you looking for the notice of appearance introducing the new lawyer?
I think I found it. Okay. Yeah, so it was just a basic, just 2 pages, and it's just introducing them. So basically, yeah, it's going to be for tortious interference. I don't know too much about this one. Hopefully, Nick maybe comments on it a little bit. That would be nice to actually hear. basically, all it says on there is now comes Ann Lee Sue and the firm of Martinez Sue PC, and hereby files this appearance as co-counsel of record in the above styled and numbered cause for plaintiff Victor Manana. Man, so at this point, we're going to need a little more help with that war chest, and hopefully those that are coming in here. Ooh, look at that, Aldos. Hey, what's up, man? Good to have you. And Shinobi Raccoon, good to have you as well. So yeah, hopefully we can get the war chest up a little more. This, in my opinion, is going to continue going on for quite some time. It could be honestly a year, maybe more, because who knows? Bootleg Ranger, welcome. So we'll start off a few more fights, so we at least have a little bit of entertainment while we're talking. I'm here just listening, says Lady J. Welcome, Lady J.
Hey, and I have to point out, I'm sorry, I have to point out you pronounced Mignana correctly, so, damn it, Nick, we lost the case again, because that proves he's a general public figure now.
Oh my God, what have I done? Let's see.
Yeah, the Beard Daughters are going to put you on a t-shirt now, comics.
I am looking forward to it very much so. Oh man. You know, they have such a great team over there. They really do. What's that?
Villain t-shirts would be amazing.
Villain t-shirts. Bro, we got to start working on some. I'm telling you.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
But you should wait like till you get to probably like 500 or 1,000 subscribers.
Absolutely. Actually, that's a good idea. We should do something like that. 1,000 subscribers. We'll be doing a giveaway. Still not going to reveal just yet exactly what we're giving away, but when we get to there, we'll let everyone know. But at that time, that might not be a bad idea. I think around that time, we'll have had enough things going on that we can make some shirts, make some things, some merch for people to buy. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we need
Calcium
villains to grow.
Calcium duck merch.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. We just need someone to draw it.
You know, the ironic thing is now that we can't find Snick, is his base on a milk carton.
That's not a bad idea for a shirt right there. Have you seen this duck?
Yeah, I've got a new design to work on now.
Ooh. So let's see.
Begin.
Okay, so recently Jamie Marchi and Monaco Real have been a bit more active than normal, and it's all just to this big. Like, all they've been saying is literally like just to enrage everybody even more than they already are, and it's awful. Like, Monaco blames Big because he's how do you say it, like pulling on the ropes?
I can do this all day.
He's calling the shots, yeah. Monica said that Big was calling the shots, as in like Big said, do this and do that, do I stand with Big, which is a huge lie, but you know, it's Monica Real.
Actually, yeah, we can even, you know, between her and Ron, she's a little more open about what she's putting out. Ron, he locked his account recently, so you can't really see much of anything. Unless you're on Kiwi Farms, that is.
Quiet. Oh, yeah. Joseph, Texas got banned from Kiwi Farms for that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one of the rules at Kiwi Farms is you document, you laugh. If they come in and they want to interact, you interact, but you don't go out and interfere with people. And he got too close, and they cut ties. So from what I saw, he was banned and has not been back.
Oh dang.
Bootleg Rangers just said, subbed. I haven't uploaded anything in a while, but I'm planning on making a meme with the endgame assemble scene with Vic as Captain America. Very nice.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, share that out when you get it.
Yeah, definitely. We got to see that. So let me read off a few tweets from Monica. I don't know if this sounds stalkerish. Hopefully not, but let's see. So she says, this was 3:08 on September 5th. So today, she says, I'm going to leave you all with one last thought, and then I'm getting offline for the weekend. The anime community has always meant the world to me. Our fans are the best, and I've loved meeting you all at shows. It breaks my heart that our community has been targeted. There are people actively working to rip this community apart. I have been able to speak up because of the lawsuit, but hopefully soon I'll be able to share the truth with you all. I'm still wondering what the truth actually is. We keep hearing that from her and from Ron. So, continuing on. Until then, don't rely on other people for information, so don't listen to anyone else. Read the documents for yourself. I think people have. She finally concludes with, we cannot let people who don't even care about anime tear our community apart for their own agenda. We cannot let them turn us against each other. I swear, when this is over, I will do everything I can to try to reunite this community. I hope that you will be by my side.
Yeah, I'm very conflicted on that one. Because, I realize that, to be fair to her, she's in a lawsuit now, and the less she says, the better. Although that's not, or at least traditional thinking is the less you say, the better. Although that's advice they haven't taken to this point. But on the flip side, if they had shared out actual evidence, other than things that seemingly conflict or don't rise to the level of the accusations they were making, they would have the same groundswell of support that Vic has. And as far as Vic, leading anything or causing problems, I think he's made 3 tweets, and to me they've all been positive. I haven't seen him directly attack anyone other than to state that he hasn't done what he's been accused of, and that he wants people to spread positivity and spread good things about him to counteract the negative.
Hey guys, sorry, hold on one second. You guys continue talking. I gotta take care of my kid real quick. Hold on one second.
Oh no, children.
Okay,
he's leaving us in here unsupervised.
oh god.
Alright, welcome to the realm. Welcome.
Well, if Monica had shown evidence at the beginning, the anime community wouldn't have torn up like this heavily. So if anything, if she does have evidence, this is her fault.
Yep.
It was done because of her. If she does have the evidence, if she doesn't, still was torn by her. So she basically is at fault for everything now up to this point. It doesn't matter if she's actually telling the truth or not at this point. What happened to the anime community, all the fighting, the sides, everything was because of her. So, it isn't good for Monica either way. He basically asked for this.
Yeah, and I'm of the same opinion. And I mean, obviously, it's our opinions, but you know, yeah, if she had evidence, then yeah, come out with it, show it. And you're right, we could have headed all this off before it with the legal action.
That's true. I mean, really, what I'm wondering is why aren't they revealing the truth, whatever it is? I mean, is it because they're trying to protect someone, or I can't think of what the exact reason it is. You know, there's really no sense in waiting on this because it's just making it worse. Unless it's because they fear bringing that info out will do something to the case itself. I don't know.
I mean, from my perspective, going into this TCPA, I can't count, or I don't have a count of how many affidavits they have in front of me that have provided so far. But you know, for me, I would think if you're going in and you're trying to say there is truth behind what I'm saying, especially looking at the defamation part of it. If you're defending yourself with truth, you would come forward with the strongest accounts you have. And Ron Toy had tweeted out that there were hundreds of women ready to come forward. And we've seen a handful of accusations about, Vic has done creepy things, quotes. Even if you take everything that's in there as it actually happened the way that it was testified to happening, then there's still not, no rape, no pedophilia. It's a guy that has made passes at women, and he's had extramarital sex. Okay, that's not what he was being accused of.
Yep.
If you come out with the strong evidence at first, kill this case before it ever gets rooted, kill it at the TCPA level, and be done with it. If they have stronger evidence, it doesn't make any sense at all to hold it back right now. At least some strong points.
So I wanted to get into... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Frank.
My bad. I think Ron Toya would have leaked it anyways, knowing how he acts and stuff, so... Yeah, Ron Toya does not listen to anybody. It's insane.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. There are quite a few points that they're leaking things out, and I don't know. I don't want to name names and bring attention to them because I enjoy laughing at them. But yeah, it's like watching a kindergartner trying to hold a poker face, when they're stealing cookies. Oh, look what I got! You lost the case again.
Oh man, those guys! I swear, it's Ron. Ron has been the main issue with a lot of this because he just did not give up. Monica, to an extent as well. I mean, she with her whole what did she say that got very famous? I screenshotted this and am sending it to my or sending it to the FBI or something. Have a good night.
Oh yeah, her famous quote.
Pretty sure that didn't help anything.
That meme that came out of that one was priceless too.
So let's see. So we got some stuff from Chuck Huber that was very interesting and is leading a lot of us to want to look into other voice actors a little more. Some of the things that were said, which I'll bring up right now. So let's see. Let me take a quick look at some of these. They're very fascinating and pretty I don't know, somewhat damning for Sabat and Funimation. The Hairy Beast. Welcome, sir. He says the Chuck reports were hot. Yes, they were amazing, and there's so many. There's so many. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to start at 73, 74, and 75. I'm going to have to find the rest of them, but he says, I also feared that my 20-year voice acting career at Funimation and personal reputation would be damaged by retaliation for my association with Vic. I contacted Gen Fukunaga, the then CEO of Funimation, to discuss my concerns with Chris Sabat's gaslighting of Sean Schemmel, damaging use of his authority toward actors, and his attempts to destroy my career. In early March 2019, who met with me and advised that Vic would lose and have to pay via something he had learned about called an anti-slap motion. He also, in response to my specific concern about Chris Sabat, said that he had been friends with Chris Sabat for 17 years and he did not believe me. Wow. This meeting occurred on March 5th, 2019 at 2:30 p.m. in Gen's office, approximately a month to a month and a half prior to Vic filing the current pending lawsuit. I and my wife fear direct, planned, and specific retaliation from Chris Sabat and those loyal to him in response to this affidavit that will be damaging to my reputation and career. That is, like, this whole thing is going to be damaging to his career. He's how do you even come back from any of that? How are you going to voice act after this? I mean, they're probably going to get rid of him.
Yeah,
I hear that yeah, like there's like two if I remember correctly, there's two companies that are using him, like two dubbing companies. For now, that is.
Bootleg Rangers says,
Wait, we're talking about Vic, right?
What's that?
We're talking about Vic, right? We're talking about Vic, not Sabat, right?
Oh,
Those-
specifically,
one
this
was-
from Chuck
that was
Huber
Chuck
is
Huber.
talking about Sabat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So apparently,
Yeah,
Bootleg Rangers says, how come some of our comments are not showing up on the PS4 comments screen? I don't know. I'm not sure why that's happening.
I blame Sierra.
Actually, if either of you two have the YouTube stream up and can see the comments, maybe we can go that route with the comments. I didn't know that was an issue.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up, but I'm terrible about keeping track. So if somebody wants to catch my attention, just ask me. They call me Ralph.
Yeah, I can like read them and everything. Maybe it's censoring them. That's why it's not popping up.
Maybe Twitch is going to be the better option for this in the future. We'll have to try that again next time. Sorry, guys. But definitely continue on. Send your comments, and we'll definitely try to read those out.
I just want to say thank God that meeting wasn't in the casting couch.
Dude, that casting couch. What the hell, Sabat?
Yeah, Bootleg Rangers blames woke Sony. I do too.
Agreed.
I third that.
I believe we have a consensus. So yeah, as far as Chuck Huber, I haven't been keeping up with the amount of pushback he's gotten, but I'm sure the kickback side has been quite loving. One thing I think he's got in his favor, though, is everyone's been distracted by the shiny object of the filing on the 30th, 31st. That was 27 minutes late, so lost the case again.
That's... God.
Stan Dallin was the Stan Dallin or something like that was the one who Monica said in her affidavit that witnessed her being how do I put this, like
The Flash wins.
touched without consent by Vic, right?
Yes. Yeah, she was the one that said that he knocked on the door, interrupting what was going on.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, because the hairy beast is the guy's name, by the way, in YouTube in the comments. It's talking about him. So maybe we should talk about that for a second.
Okay.
And how stupid it sounds. Like how Monica went and said that and everything else happened.
Yeah, I mean, for my basically we're in a situation where you had a he said, she said. She says this happened. He said no, that didn't happen. She said, well, I've got a witness that can vouch for me, and the witness says, well, I don't recall. So yeah,
That must have been so humiliating.
I mean, what do you do about that? There's really nothing else that she really has. She has the jelly bean thing, and I mean, I don't know. Are those the only two things that she brought up that were an issue for her? Was it just the jelly bean and the hotel room?
There was the Stan Dallin story. That changed multiple times.
Yeah.
Like in one instance, she said that Vic pushed her onto the bed and got on top of her.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even say that with a straight face.
I mean, how shady does it look that she and Ron lived with the twins as well for a while?
yeah, that you know, I realize it's not at a jury phase, but I've got to say, for me, if I were on a jury, once you start getting all the little connections to the people that have come forward and saying, oh, okay, they're all friends of Monica and Ron, yeah, that raises a question mark in my mind, and that's something that they'll have to overcome if it reaches a jury point.
Hmm.
And then, from what I understand, and tell me if this is your all's understanding too, that at the TCPA phase, that if you've got a dispute where it's he said, she said, you know, the greater weight is given to the plaintiff's side, which only means that, you know, that he would win in that particular dispute, which would further his cause for the TCPA to take it on to trial. Am I understanding that correct, as you guys understand it?
I kind of did, yeah. I don't
As
know
far
about the
as far as I
viewers.
know. What's that?
Oh, like at least I think I understood it, but I don't know about the viewers. Like me personally, I don't know what to think of the twins. Like, cause like honestly, from my opinion, like I don't think that the twins would possibly lie about that though. Like, I'm not saying that I believe that Vic is guilty. I'm just saying that was unexpected, and it's like, it just sounds weird. Like, it just, to me, it like, how can I, oh god. Because you don't expect that to come out of nowhere like it did on the affidavits, right? Like, you don't expect to hear something from the twins.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, it's just like it killed a bit of my hope,
Yeah.
and it's still dead a little
Yeah.
because they could have been bribed and stuff. It's okay, it's okay. Like, they could have been bribed and everything, I get that, but, like, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody had, like, done that with them. And if Vic did do this, I'm consent, even if they were underage, if he did do it. It's just, like, I don't know, like, that seems believable to me. Just to me, that's just my opinion. Even though I stand with Vic, though. Like, I'm with them all the way, but Jesus Christ, that was just a left hook.
Yeah, and I can get that. Because it's another. He said, she said. You've got two young ladies that have pretty much almost exactly the same story, which to most people would give them some credibility. The thing that I kind of come back to is even if it happened exactly the way they said it happened, the worst that you've got is a guy that's acting as a cad, or a heel, or a jerk, and he propositioned them, and then they turned him down. He lets them leave, and if we go with exactly what they said, he forced a kiss on the two of them. That's bad. It's not rape though, and that's kind of where I'm at on it.
I would agree with you there. It wasn't really what I was expecting. Well, any of us, right? That's what we're saying here. Yeah, I guess I was viewing Vic in a certain way. I didn't think that was going to come out, but as far as what did he confirm in regards to that, to their story?
He confirmed that he had communication with them, that they came up to his room, and he denies. He denied asking them to strip. He denied kissing them, and he denied getting angry. I don't think he denied actually propositioning the two of them for a threesome.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I get that. It still comes off kind of weird, but it's what it is. And I think he said that it was at a moment in his life where he's not very proud of some of the things that he was doing, and I think that he was attempting a change in his life as well after a lot of this. I don't want to. Why is it calling me a hipster? What the hell? The game just called me a hipster.
Wait, what?
The truth hurts, man.
Just because I enjoy avocado toast and some almond milk does not mean I'm a hipster. Well, okay, maybe.
Don't you have soy milk? Almond milk.
No.
Almond milk.
That
was called.
Do you guys know where we can get on the sacred ointment?
No, I disavow.
You think you have to take a visit over to the Okratron 5000? They might have some for you.
Oh, I pulled up the paragraph from Victor Mignana's affidavit involving the Yost twins. Would you like me to read it?
Oh yeah, please.
Okay. This is from the plaintiff's response, paragraph 32, Victor Mignana's affidavit. I have read the affidavits of Elizabeth Yost and Teresa Yost attached to Real and Toys supplements to motion to dismiss. I deny that I touched either of them without consent or in any inappropriate way. I did invite them to my room after they had flirted with me numerous times over the previous year. But when they made their lack of interest clear, I bid them goodbye and they left freely and peacefully. I did not ask them to do a striptease show for me. I did not try to kiss either of them. I did not later express a desire to kiss them, nor did I ever become angry with them. They never cried, teared up, or acted afraid in my presence. So, good to know my memory didn't completely leave me.
Nice.
Oh, sorry guys, hold on one more time. Let me get my kid real quick.
Oh, my bad.
Turning into the Nick Ricada show.
Wow.
We just need the sound of the vault door slamming shut every time Comics goes running off in to grab a child.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Bootleg Ranger says, I believe Sabat is the puppet master in this because Vic was originally going to get a director's job, and Sabat and his friends didn't like that. And that's a huge possibility in all this, considering what Monica said in her affidavit, which is hilarious, considering she talks about his roles and her roles for no apparent reason.
yeah, I think it's plausible. You know, it seems like more and more has come out showing that Sabat's not a squeaky clean guy.
Yeah, and even less with that sacred ointment on him.
Oh, I think I believe I have avoided downloading those MP3s, but I may have to just make a soundboard where we can have that running.
Oh God, no! Oh God, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it does sound like a good idea, but it sounds like something we shouldn't do if we don't want comics kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good point. If I wasn't on Comics' channel, yeah, I'd probably knock the rails
Yeah.
off pretty quick.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you know, my avatar is a coyote, and I live in a trailer park in North Texas. I mean, what can they do to me?
Oh my gosh.
Give me a sec. The Hairy Beast says, oh yes, there's a vid with the two of them and two others who I can't recall at a table. She calls Ron her real Vegeta. That's when they all go on to repeat, don't cross them. Do not cross them. Oh God.
Oh my god.
Oh God. Bootleg Ranger. I cannot read that. I don't want comics to lose the channel. Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't think you'd get demonetized for that.
Okay, then read it, Ralph.
Oh,
man.
my time has come. I've never been with a man before.
Oh God. Oh, that was perfect. Oh jeez.
Now I've just gotta go find some cons.
Wow.
Oh,
I'll leave off the last part of that one.
Oh man, this is getting very Nick Ricada in here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
Oh,
no worries.
but sadly, we're not drunk yet.
Not yet,
Sadly, we're
no.
not drunk.
Although I could change that. I have to take an exception to the Harry B's latest comment that he thinks Sabat wants him out, but he believes Ron was the brains, and that's why it took so long for all this to go down. I'm not sure Ron is the brains of Ron. So,
Ron is the brawn.
oh, they're in big trouble.
Yeah. I don't know what any. I don't know how they're gonna actually. What's that?
I do not recall.
Oh God.
I'm not sure. Well, maybe.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that was painful.
God.
That one was painful.
It was awful having to watch Ty attempt to force some kind of answer out that wasn't ambiguous, you know, not my God. It was like pulling
Yes,
hair,
no,
man.
or I don't know. Maybe.
Well, at least it wasn't like Lemoyne's question. His famous question. Do you know what a... I ain't even saying that.
Yeah, no.
Hey,
No.
Hey, Ralph, there's something you would like to read in the comments.
Oh, I don't think I can do that other voice. I'll have to work on that one.
Which
Whoa,
voice is this going to
can
be
I have
for?
some? It's my ointment. I need it. I need it for Piccolo. Whoa.
That's good. That's a good job, show.
Yeah, I kept expecting during Vic's deposition to hear, all right, so when you hit the bodies, did you drop it in a quarry? Or just leave it in the junkyard? Objection, unresponsive.
Oh God.
Oh, you know what's interesting? In the comment section, it's giving me an option to post up the Hairy Beasts comment. So something he said is not immediately going through. So let's show it. He says, I don't think Ron is that smart, but he is pretty cagey. I think if it had been Sabat's plan, then it would have worked. But before Ron, they were content to talk behind closed doors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're
That
saying there.
makes
So he's not the brains, but the catalyst is your viewpoint.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That makes way too much sense, actually.
Well, and think back to there was, I believe it was a tweet, or it may have been a Facebook post where Ron talked about the first time that he met Vic, and Vic got in between him and Monica, and how he almost decked Vic, and put that in with.
I think he would have broken his arm if he tried it.
Probably so. The Chad muscles of Vic would have snapped back.
I mean, you could say that Monica is really the catalyst of a lot of this, because she didn't know Ron quite a while ago when all of this started, and maybe she sort of, what's it called, shaped his perspective on a lot of these things and a lot of these issues. So I'm not saying that he's, not guilty of doing a lot of stupid stuff, but it could be mostly because of how she explains things to him. Who knows? I mean, he might actually be he might not be the alpha in that ship. So
Yeah, you know what? I think Monica actually beats up Ron.
oh jeez.
The tables turned.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, you know what? Hold on one second. I feel like bringing up some videos from Rekida's like greatest hits.
Ooh. Hey, while you do that, I'll be right back. One of Comics kids just ran through here. I gotta go grab it.
All right, here we go.
Here, I'm gonna Vic right now. I'm going to ask you a tangible way you can
I
help
need to
Vic
help
right
on
now.
the stream. I was
Ready?
checking on something.
Invite him to.
What's
I
that?
was checking Nick's video. I was checking Nick's video for a second.
Oh, he's-
Nick's live stream.
He's live right now, huh?
Yeah, I had to check on it because I thought that he would be like talking about more stuff, but I can check tomorrow.
You know what? I can put him on right now. Let's do that.
Don't depends on what the viewers want. Honestly.
Oh, that's true.
Harry B said, consider this. Ron is a blank. He's a pretty boy. I wouldn't call him that, honestly. And Vic is a Roman god. He knows that people are swooning over Vic. If Monica showed any interest in Vic, it would be intolerable to Ron. I can't read the next comment. Bootleg Ranger says, I just want Vic to make a dubbing company with all the money he'll win with the court case. And get the Dragon Ball license once Funimation loses it. Imagine the song.
Wow.
That would be astounding, amazing, but I highly doubt it. I would love to see that because I want to see Sabat's face when he sees that that he can't voice Vegeta anymore. Imagine Chan Shamo that he loves voicing Goku.
Hey, it's entirely possible. I mean, they're not going to be those voices forever. It's impossible. You're going to eventually have to have some kind of, what is it called? They're going to have to pass the voice over to somebody. They're going to get old, or they're going to give up and retire prior to that. But they're not going to last forever. And same for the company itself.
I think they're getting paid way too much for them to retire. Like, I don't think Vic will do that because, like, when you think about it, Vic has more important stuff to do than actually run a dubbing company. Like, imagine all the work and all the money. Like, I don't think the money he'll get from this will even be enough to, like, start a good one. And if he does start one, there's a chance that it will be heavily boycotted because of the salt of him winning.
It's a possibility, but let me throw in a side thing.
Right.
So, even considering, let's say that he went through and he lost the case.
I'd cry.
Yeah, exactly. But the main thing is he's brought attention to what's happened. He's gotten a lot of support from his fans. I think it could be entirely possible, even if he doesn't win, if Vic has been smart, put away some money, and continues to get good signing responses, things like that at cons. He could start a small recording studio because part of what he does also for his income is things like jingles, records music, stuff like that. It could be a very good investment for him, even if he doesn't go as big as to get the DBZ license. He could do dubbing for some animes, smaller projects, recording and things like that. So I'm hopeful that there is a path forward for him, even if it's not in the voice acting community directly.
I agree there.
I would love to listen to a Vic radio station.
Only plays the West Nile Mosquitoes song over and over.
Oh God, man, I would listen to that even more.
I mean, he is getting work right now. I think he had a voice acting gig that was given to him not too long ago. So, regardless of what's going on with this case, I believe that he's going to keep getting work. I mean, if Robert Downey Jr. can be at his lowest, so many years before Iron Man, but still come back, get Iron Man, and, be on top as far as acting. I think anyone can come back from anything, even if it's false allegations against him, and whether he wins or loses this. I believe there's so many people that want him to succeed and want him to be successful, that there will always be a door open for him, no matter what. After all of this,
And can I expand on that a little bit?
absolutely.
I think part of the reason that he is getting such a groundswell of support is many of us have seen online the kinds of accusations that are thrown out without evidence, just out and out vitriol that is slung at people, and the mob justice that's used to tear people down, and a lot of people are tired of it, and they view this as an opportunity, a line in the sand, if you will, an opportunity to fight back, an opportunity to take a stand and say, look, we've had enough. If there are legitimate problems, legitimate crimes, injustices, that's one thing. But just crucifying people based on accusations alone needs to stop.
I agree. And I think we're getting towards that point, slow and steady, but it's coming up so much with so many different people, so many stars, actors, and politicians. I mean, this is, in my opinion, I think it's coming to a head. And there's going to have to be some kind of ramification for anyone making a false accusation. It just has to happen enough times and people are going to get over it. It'll just take a lot in terms of, public opinion, court appearances. There's going to be a rough period right now, and we're in it. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to be right back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's the Ralph show again.
Oh yeah, Ralph's got the mic. Something else I wanted to expand on that I have learned from this is, for me being in Texas, learning about the TCPA and other states, their anti-SLAPP measures. To me, at least in Texas, it seems like the TCPA is overly broad, in my opinion. Because I could see a lot of abuse. Like, for instance, in this one, seeing the lawyers for the defense bring up that Vic is a limited purpose public figure simply because he defended himself, with 3 tweets. And, to me, when you're accused of something and you can't even defend yourself without running the risk of bringing yourself into some kind of public figure status where the TCPA applies or makes things more difficult, that's frustrating. I understand the idea behind the law, but I think it's been executed very poorly.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I learned from this because if I hadn't, I found out about this because for some weird reason, a Tug video popped up, like that Umbrella Guy video popped up on my recommended on YouTube, like out of nowhere. Because I don't watch conspiracy videos or anything. I watched that. I made a new account on Twitter, and I was like, I might as well believe Monica. Like, there's no way she's faking this, right? I start looking things up, and it's just so stupid. Like, when you see that she just keeps lying, then she keeps attacking Vic through Twitter, even though Vic isn't even defending himself at this point. Like, it just makes you think that no, there's no way that Vic did this. This is just going too far at this point for basically nothing. Because, Like if Big isn't attacking them, like on Twitter, what gives them the right to attack Vic? And that's what made me stand with Vic. I learned that you shouldn't take anybody's word. I mean, depending on the situation, you shouldn't take people's word as something important. Like, you shouldn't believe them at first glance. And that was insane, because realizing that Monica Rial, the voice of Bulma, from my childhood, like anime stuff that I never stopped watching, just pops out of nowhere, is like Jesus.
Yeah, that was a
thing I
shock.
was gonna say. I can't remember. Yeah, you can keep going.
Yeah, that was something else when it came out. I mean, we heard a lot of different things, but we were waiting on something official. And finally, when Monica came out with that, I think it was a huge tweet thread, right?
Oh, and then my not so smart brain recently decided to do the absolute opposite, and there was this person claiming that what's his name? This woman, this famous person that wanted a WarioWare character to be in Smash, supposedly suicided. And this guy blamed another guy that had interacted only one time with her, and blamed him. And I literally retweeted that. But when I retweeted it, I was like, I'm gonna look more into this, and I forgot. When I wake up in the morning, I check my notifications, and I see that it has me tagged on it, and it says, please don't share this. You don't know if it's true or anything. And I immediately saw the hypocrisy in my actions, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, man. My bad, Jesus. He said it was okay, but I felt so bad afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think we're all guilty of it. You know, we get caught up in the emotion of the moment, and you react. You know, and unfortunately, there are people out there that take advantage of that and use it to fuel an agenda. It's you know, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Social media has made it even worse.
Harry B says, always be wary of women that want allegations public. Most women who report abuse want it to be as quiet as possible. Yeah, which I can understand that. There is some instances where it's like, you know, certain things, I guess, need a, how do you put this? Need a bigger out than what they already have. And I can really only point to things like Harvey Weinstein, but I'm sure there's far more. Many more people came out as a result of it. You know, I've heard from people, from different YouTubers, you know, for the most part, there's a lot of negativity when it comes to Me Too. There really is. There's maybe like that one good, you know, example where somebody actually, you know, their intentions actually came out. And that was the best way for that to happen, I guess. Or maybe that was the only way. I don't know. Might have been a lot of people protecting Harvey Weinstein. But as far as all these other people that are getting Me Too'd, a lot of it just seems like BS. And people taking advantage of this movement. And you can see it. You could see examples of it everywhere. Like, let's just take, for example, there was a video not too long ago of a taxi driver. He had his camera on, and 3 women came into his car. They already started driving. The 3 women were all drunk, and they were kind of acting like a-holes in the car. So he's asking them to, you know, behave. And I think there was like a small verbal altercation between them. The woman got out of the car. started, screaming rape. I think she saw a police officer, if I'm not mistaken, and the police officer came, and the taxi driver said, no, I didn't do anything of the sort. I didn't try anything with them. They were trying to get out of paying me for the ride and so on. And the police officer was shown the video of everything. Had he not had that, the taxi driver would have been in hot water, right? So, not everyone has that advantage. So, this is why we can't just go off of allegations. Harry B says, comics villain, Weinstein was an outlier. Women know they can weaponize abuse allegations. That's the biggest reason to make it public, rather than to quietly have it prosecuted.
That's society in a nutshell right there. Why do people think it's a good idea to do such a thing, knowing that they'll get hated and probably excluded? Like, not the person that got not the person that's being alleged of such things. The person that said it knows what'll come out of it sometimes, and they still risk it all.
Take, for example, Zoe Quinn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everybody's hating on her now. What did she expect? Like, maybe he did it, but why don't you go to the police? I almost cursed. But yeah, like, you let a guy to not live anymore just because you wanted to put this on the internet. She knew what would happen, and she still did it. Like, there's no way she didn't know something like that would have happened. According to other people, she lived with the guy, so.
And for every time that you have a false allegation too, that tends to make people even more dubious when a real allegation comes forward or is made, and that's frustrating for me. I take accusations like that very seriously, and coming back around to Vic, I entered it with the. It first came to my attention through Yellow Flash and Tug, and then later I picked it up following it through Nick Ricada. But I initially entered it with the thought of, well, if there's smoke, there's fire, and then the longer it's gone on, the more doubtful I've become. And now anytime anyone screams anything, I have an inclination to doubt and have to research before I believe it or act on it.
I mean, that's true, and we have to be very cautious in the things that we're hearing. There's quite a bit of misinformation going out there, and some of it could be as simple as forging a tweet. Like, that happened not too long ago to me. I forgot the woman's name, but she now works at Marvel. I forget if she's a writer or artist, but there was a tweet that went out that said, I think it was something against Stan Lee or something against white people, I forget, but a lot of people basically came out against that, started saying, like, how dare she say this, and a lot of people didn't verify where it was coming from, if it was even real or not. So a lot of the information that we get nowadays, I think, taking a little advice from a friend of mine is Douglas Ernst, who says, you gotta wait your time, see what comes out from that particular instance or that particular case, and then make your judgment later when you have a good amount of evidence, a good amount of information on this. We have to be very cautious. Okay, let's get a fight going. Oh. Actually, hold on one second, guys. I can barely hear you. There's this really weird little bug with Discord. Basically, with Discord, it stops working on speaker, and then all of a sudden it starts...
If you don't have Photoshop skills.
What? Say it again?
I was just saying, you know, faking a tweet or faking a DM is very simple, even if you don't have Photoshop skills. You don't have to be some kind of elite hacker to do it.
Not at all.
And you're right. You really do need some space, some distance to get over the initial emotional reaction and allow some facts to filter forward.
Begin.
Lose you
Oh
guys.
man, dead air. That's not good, huh? So hold on, let's see. What does Nick Ricada do in these instances? Let's see.
Oh no! Are you boomering up the stream?
Exactly. Well,
Oh my gosh!
There's so...
Hold on a minute. Let me turn on video and let me tangle my headphones and my glasses. I'll be the Tiber. I'll be your Percy if you'll be my Screech.
Comics is the little secretary.
Oh my god.
I'll take it. Hey, and I want to say, one of my proudest moments was getting Nick Ricada to use my late night with Screech and Percy banner on one of his shows.
Oh, did he really? Wow, man.
Yeah, I was. Apparently, he thought it was as funny as I did. So.
Oh, that's great. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I'm thinking very seriously about printing that out and taking a trip up to Tyler to give a canvas of it to Ty.
Oh, you did? You definitely should.
Maybe I can trade off for some of that John Wayne whiskey.
So tell
Ty,
me...
if you're listening...
Oh.
Oh, go ahead. I was just being...
No, go ahead. I want to hear this.
Oh, I was just... Ty, if you're listening, hit me up, man. At New Random Geek.
So, let me ask you guys, have you heard the news that's going around? Reportedly, Robert Downey Jr. may reprise his role as Iron Man for a new Disney Plus spin-off that's going to be centered around Riri Williams being the focus and becoming the new Iron Man.
I have not heard that yet. I've seen some rumblings that they're thinking about bringing Riri in, but I've not seen anything beyond just rumblings. Got anything credible on that yet?
The only thing that's really been going around has been Robert Downey Jr. saying he's open to Riri Williams, which is a weird thing for me to hear because I doubt that he's been reading much of the comics, at least the new stuff, unless Disney's kind of helping him with that, letting him know this is the route we want to take, and he's just going along with the ride, you know.
They make him gay.
I think at this point they're going to make him a hologram.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I bet you're right. Because that's what they did in the comics, didn't they? They made him the AI for Riri.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So a lot of people were looking at the end of Endgame, and they were kind of speculating that the hologram we were seeing is the Tony AI.
I I don't really think that's the case. Because to me it looks like, I think that the girl will make that AI better, like, or at least turn it into an AI.
What, you mean Riri
Because
Williams or
there's
the daughter?
yeah, like I think that that his daughter will like make it. If it does happen, she'll like make it the AI. But right now, I just think that that was just a hologram for just there to explain everything. Oh, by the way, the Hairy Beast asked if you guys knew about the new co-council. I don't know what that is.
The co-council.
For Vic. Hang on a sec. Yeah, we talked briefly about that. There was a filing, it was actually Thursday. There was a, oh, hang on a minute. No, wrong one. No, that
Ralph
was
is in charge of the papers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was filed on the 4th. Only Sue, and I'm sure I'm mangling the pronunciation of that. I don't know much about them. I've seen reported that they are a TI specialist, and the theory is that you know, perhaps they're being brought in to give Ty some extra backing in that. I really don't know much at this point. I haven't had time to do a lot of research on it.
Well, at least you know more than I believe. You know, right? Comics. I'm sure he knows more than the both of us.
I would agree with that.
Dude, I'm kind of terrified by that flattery there, because that just means that I'm obsessive about it. I find the whole case fascinating. I mean, it's just the the behavior by people.
Superman, Batman.
It would be easier if I understood more of the legal lingo, you know. But there's a lot of things in this that's new for me. So I can go off of how Rekieta talks about it, because you can kind of dumb things down to make people understand it. But there's so much information that's come out. There's so much. It's hard to have a good recollection, to be honest.
Yeah, like you can look at it like Rekieta's explanations. I can understand them, and it's amazing the way that he explains it, because I barely know anything, and Nick just hovers over it like it's nothing. But like, there's so many papers that you have to read, plus the like 1,000-page essay Ty made. Like, it's insane.
And then you have filings from the defense where I actually took a screenshot of Nick reading through the defense's filing, where his head is craned 90 degrees to one side trying to read it, where Lemois posted it all crazy. Yeah, it's and I'm with you. I mean, I understand, you know, even though I'm currently biased toward Vic, and I very much enjoy watching Nick's streams. I know that Nick is going to slant his arguments. Yeah, let me rephrase that. I don't want to say he's slanting things. His arguments are going to be for the position that he has, and he is undeniably pro-Vic. I've tried to be fair and go to certain other Twitter accounts, and they seem much more interested in just dunking on someone's ignorance rather than explaining, no, this is the way it is, and backing it up with you know, actual case filings, citations. It's Nick is much better on the education side of it, and he's much more persuasive, and that's really where they're losing the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause like at least the lawyers, like Greg Doucette, like it doesn't take a genius to see that he isn't taking this seriously, and that he isn't taking the law into account. Like, did you guys see that he said on a tweet that Vic was a registered pedo and a sexual offender?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. He is made blatantly in my opinion, since I'm on Comics' channel, in what I view as blatantly defamatory statements, and honestly, the appearance to me is that his goal is to get drug into the suit so that he can get some publicity off of it. That's the only take I get from it.
No,
yeah, like
no,
he
100% on that.
famous.
I mean,
But
that's
you go comics.
No, that's actually a very good point. I mean, who the hell even is Greg Doucette or Doucette or whatever he wants to call himself? He just brings himself into this, and Nick has talked about this in the past. There are a lot of lawyers online that try to get involved in these things and get themselves publicity. If you guys recall, Mark Wade, his lawyer, Mark S. Zaid, he started getting online quite a bit. But he's only so involved in that, right? Because there's a different lawyer that's actually handling the case. I mean, he is involved, I shouldn't say that, but lawyers, I think, understand to a certain extent, the high profile ones, how to use the public to their advantage, going online and saying what they can for their clients.
Personal gain.
Mm-hmm. And it really amounts to, for Zaid, he may not actually win it, but he'll get a lot of publicity in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. At least Monica, Sabet, Sean, everybody suffered from this. I feel bad that Vic had to suffer through this, and we don't know what can happen. But I am happy that even if Vic loses, they destroyed themselves. I love that.
Harry B says, comics villain Greg is a gamer and a nerd, so that's probably how he got to all this. That could be.
He probably plays video games instead of doing his job. That would explain a lot.
Well, have you seen his tweet count?
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible. I don't see how anybody could do any job other than tweet. With the
yeah, exactly. Like how is he a lawyer if he's always on Twitter? Does he start typing when he's talking to a client? Does he always have his phone by his head or something?
Hold up, Your Honor. I've got a hot zinger here. Oh,
We just gotta hit this one.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, yeah, I've got a job. I mean, it's unfathomable for me.
Yeah, it's really impossible. What if he isn't even a lawyer anymore? And we're just over here, it's... what does he do as a lawyer? Because there's no way he's looking for information. There's no way he's working on cases while doing all that. It's basically, literally impossible.
Well, now, he tweeted out, I think he's got 100 cases pending right now. So...
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sure. I got 1,000 cases pending myself.
Hey, and the three of us together, the three of us individually, from what I understand, have won as many TCPA cases as Lamar. So
There it is.
Hey, hey, the Harry B says, comics villain Greg is a gamer and a nerd. Oh, you already read that. He said, he told me, we're in a wait and see. Defamation is hard to prove. This is him talking about, I asked him about his friends because they're lawyers and all that, and he said that they're like scanning the stuff. It's hard to prove, but wrongful not so much. We expect the defamation to squeak by or fail, but the wrongful is a good possibility, especially after the leaks. Seems Greg's big thing was magic, and I can tell from his tweets that he knows the game. As far as his work as a defense lawyer, he only spends a little bit of time in court.
I'm hearing
I'm not a lawyer
a little something
or anything,
in the back.
or I don't know anything about the law, so I can't. So, but from my point of view, like, Greg doesn't seem like somebody I would trust with any law issues, honestly, like, at all. Even if he says, bear in mind that the actual trial lawyer doesn't always do a lot. The lead lawyer will often leave the legwork to his lawyers and his paralegals.
Well, that's a good question, or a good point, because I have been working under the belief that Greg is basically kind of like Ricada, a single lawyer firm. You know, I'm not aware of him being part of a larger group, but perhaps so. You know, I'm not going to say he's not a lawyer. I just I find him exceptional and quite amusing. So,
Man has a lot of time on his hands, and I think that's the bigger issue. You know, I mean, he could be like Ricada in that regard.
Yeah. The only interaction I can recall having with him is that he did confirm for me that he sleeps like a baby with his new CPAP.
Oh, God.
I believe the extent of it.
Oh my god. Let me ask you guys. I don't think I've ever asked your background as far as how you got into a lot of this, or did you guys start with, you know, Gamergate or Comicsgate, or I Stand with Vic, or you just did your own thing and kind of stumbled upon a lot of these?
Well, I started with I Stand with Vic.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know much about Comicsgate. I'm basically just an spectator.
Mm-hmm.
When I followed you comics, you started sharing. Well, I mean, you kept sharing because I don't know beforehand. You kept sharing more comics, and I thought that they looked interesting, and I kept sharing them. And then I was people from Comicsgate were following me, and I don't know. I looked a bit into it, and it's really interesting, and I like it at least. But at least from this, I started off as an I Stand with Vic. Well, I mean, basically Kick Vic. But that was only for like a day, so I wouldn't really count that.
No, that's cool. As far
What about you,
as
Ralph?
Oh yeah, Ralph, go for it.
I guess I came in from watching the Comicsgate drama. I guess it was Tug and Yellow Flash that got me to notice Vic's case and the whole thing going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm more of an outlier. You know, so this is the most I've ever dipped my toe into anything other than to just kind of laugh and retweet and move on.
I think I started after. I shouldn't say after. It's definitely after Gamergate, but at the start of Comicsgate itself, with Richard C. Meyer. So I started
watching a lot of his YouTube videos kind of after I watched what is that guy's name? There's this one dude online. He has the glasses, black dude. He has like kind of a deep voice, and he does comic summaries, or he'll go through and do all these different story arcs from Marvel and DC. I can't recall his name, but I used to watch him a lot because I just wanted to see what those stories were about, because a lot of them, you know, it was a little expensive at the time to pick up so many different stories. I was already getting a lot at the time. So he summarized them and showed you the pics, and somehow his videos never got taken down. I thought that was interesting. And then that led me over to Richard C. Meyer. And from Richard C. Meyer, that led me over to Ethan Van Sciver, which led me over to Tug, Yellow Flash, Weaponized Nerd Rage, and pretty much everybody. And there's, I mean, you guys would agree there's quite a few out there in Comicsgate and so on. And as well as Anti-Comicsgate and KickVic. There's quite a few of them. But you'll notice there are a lot of connections between Gamergate, Comicsgate, and KickVic. And I stand with Vic, right? Like you'll have the same people making the same stupid comments, like, take for example Renfamous. I hate bringing her up on the stream because I'd rather she kind of just fade out of existence online, right? It would be nice not to have to hear about her anymore, but thankfully I've blocked her and blocked a lot of the so-called friends of hers that bring her up often. But you know, she has a tendency of rearing her ugly head every now and again and getting involved in things. Comicsgate and KickVic as well. But then you have people like Zoe Quinn. She started with Gamergate, and I don't know if you know her background and what happened with her, but there's this huge hour-long video on YouTube that describes her perfectly. It gives you the entire history on everything. So I remember the day when they said that she was going to come to, what was it, Vertigo? And everybody was flipping out. Or at the very least freaked out just a little bit. There was a lot of drama, surrounding her, and I remember Richard C. Meyer and Ethan were the first to kind of like discuss this, and it's just, yeah, that's. But anyway, I think I derailed a little bit. That's pretty much where I started and where things are now. I don't know what made me think of her and think of all that, but yeah. I was going through Twitter, and they have suggestions when you go to search for something. So if you follow a certain someone, they're going to show you other people that are very well known, have a lot of followers, and that are also like, on mine it says comic book writer and editors. Because you follow Peter Samiti and a few other people, here's some suggestions, and it's funny the names that are coming up. One is Gail Simone, another is G. Willow Wilson, and it just kind of goes on from there, like Gabby Rivera and so on. And I don't know if you guys know those names, but pretty infamous as far as Comicsgate are concerned. So it's rather fascinating that they're having that as a suggestion on here because of who I'm following. Oh. Hey, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, something. There's a horrible glitch on here with this Discord app.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently it takes you from speaker to headphone.
Oh. See, I figured you were just locking the children back in the basement again.
Oh Jesus!
On
Oh God.
skeleton on its skin.
Oh, by the way, let's talk about everybody wanting info on Tug.
Oh my god, that's awful. Yes, please.
Do you guys know about it, or should I
Yeah.
give you the TLDR version of what's been happening?
Yeah, give me the
You know about it?
TLDR.
Okay, so basically on kiwi farms, comics been, Harry B says, yeah, and you are all echoing, probably because comics villain isn't on headphones.
I'm on headphone, but the way I'm working this is I have my phone. I put you guys on speaker, and I have a mic connected to a different controller, so that we could at least hear you guys. And I do have my own headset, but yeah, there might be a slight echo right now.
Oh, okay. Well, so from what I've seen, I haven't asked anybody. I'm just going off of what I've seen. Tug's face was leaked on Kiwi Farms, and and people are spreading on Twitter. And Monaco Real and another person started talking about where he worked and his job, and that supposedly they're saying that Tug used this mask even when he worked. And Monica once, basically asked for that info. I put a pic of it on Discord. I'll check if I find it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's
What do you guys think about that?
I think that's awful.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't understand the fascination with searching somebody down and destroying them because you don't agree with something that they said online. Yeah, like Comic said, the certain blue-haired mass, she's annoying, so he blocked her. Don't have to deal with her anymore. And I don't have her blocked. She blocked me. And really, I don't care what she says or what she thinks. As long as she doesn't show up in my front yard, there won't be a problem.
Protect the mailbox.
I understand. Yeah, exactly. If my mailbox gets knocked over, then yeah, gloves are off. But yeah, I don't understand that. It's childish drama. Let it go. Trying to actually dig out where somebody works and then get them fired or get them in trouble at work and attack their livelihood. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, just like we were talking about getting free publicity out of being a part of something you're not actually even involved in. As a lawyer, I think it works the same for these random people like Renfamous and so many others. But I agree. I don't understand in any way why you want to go after people, and where they live, go after their family. Renfamous will tell you something along these lines. The same people that support Tug doxed her or something like that, which is not true. She doxed herself, and in my opinion, I think she's trying to get revenge for her own doxing, which was really her own fault. Renfamous had posted up some Amazon order with her own full name on the screenshot, and from that people took it and started sharing it. As far as
keep it going to herself.
pretty much. and that's her fault.
Top
That's
tier
not anyone else's fault.
SJW action.
What's up?
I kill Joker, I'll kill you.
Top tier SJW action.
Yes.
I mean, that was entirely on her. And then when people found that out, it was a quick search to find anything else out, like her Etsy page and so on. As far as Tug, though, I'm not exactly sure exactly how they got his info. I don't know if anyone knows exactly how that came about. It was Kiwi Farms that did it?
Kiwi Farms, I know, has a thread on Tug, and I don't think that they actually doxed him. I think it was, I believe it was people in Renfamous's group that did. From what I recall, I remember Tug streaming and saying probably a year or so ago that that people had called his work and complained about him being part of Comicsgate. And then that kind of went quiet, and then not too long ago, people were changing their name to reflect his name, to, you know, basically show, you know, we know who you are. And then I think Kiwi Farms picked up and ran from there. You know, but I'm not 100% sure on the background, because I haven't really had enough of an interest to dig in and see what's happening with Tug. Personally, you know, I'm okay with Tug. You know, Renfamous, yeah, I don't care for her. She's annoying, but I would like to point out, for all of her crying about death threats and all this other stuff, her information's been public for how long now? Has ever done anything to her? I don't expect anyone ever will. You know, and the best way that I can see to handle things like that is just laugh. You know, take a page from Nick Recato, like when that one freakazoid was sending the sweaty sausage things, making Nick and Egg as memes. It's like, laugh at it, man, and just you know, let it go. If you laugh at them, you take all their power away.
I agree there. And that's really the best
They
thing.
feed off of attention.
If you take that away from them, if you starve them of that attention that they're seeking, I mean, they go away on their own.
Oh, that absolutely. I think when Renfamous implemented her blockchain, she lost a lot of the drama fuel. So, you know.
Yeah, I believe she's trying to rekindle some of that. You know, sometimes what she does is she unblocks people, and she tries to bait them into conversation. That's her method. You guys still there?
Yep, still here.
Okay.
Still here.
Yep.
Yeah, but she does that. What's that?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, that's just finishing my thought. Yeah,
That's her whole thing. When something new comes up, some new kind of drama involving her, or a lot of times not involving her, she will start unblocking people. I've had it happen to me, and she will, if you haven't blocked her, she'll try to bait you into some kind of altercation. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, she's very good at the hit you, and then when you hit back, go running and screaming that you're.
Whoops.
Guys, somebody said that on the donations of Nick Rikita's live stream, somebody said that Tug made a live stream with Stan Dolan. And supposedly somebody asked Stan if he planned to sue Monica, And supposedly he said, I'll leave that option open.
What?
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that is. I wonder on what grounds he would sue her. Of course, you know, just leaving an option open just means you're not closing the door. So.
Yes, it still doesn't stop him from closing it.
Yeah, I know I certainly wouldn't be very pleased to be drug into some lawsuit that I had absolutely no involvement in.
Yeah, I would be awfully mad. You know, unless I knew what actually happened, but
Oh yeah, just go ask Ralph. He's seen it. He knows what's happening.
Ralph was never there.
Get out of my trailer park. What are you talking about?
Oh God.
Well, you never know. You really never know nowadays.
Hellboy. Sub-Zero Swamp Thing.
But
I hear that my trailer park is getting a pool. One of the best ones from Walmart.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, man.
hell yeah.
Something is something.
Begin.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Ricada has gone live.
Ah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna say this has been a pretty good stream, guys.
I've
And
enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me on, brother.
Dude,
Yeah, this was great.
we gotta do this again.
How'd you think this would go?
so, yeah, if you guys are on tomorrow, I may come on, and if not, I'll probably be seeing you guys next week, and we could probably talk and catch up on all the new drama that comes about from the hearing tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow will be an interesting day. So I'll get as best I can.
All right, guys. I will see you next time.
Bye, people.
Bye,
Adios,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks, chat.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.